Hello YouTubers, in this video I will present you the key parameters of the grips, 8 different alternatives for heated grips, my criteria to select one, installation steps, and some lessons learned. So let's see the key parameters of the handle grips in order to make sure they will fit your CB500X. The length of the grips should be 120 millimeters. If it is longer, you need to cut it to trim. The internal diameter of the grips on the clutch side, it should be 22 millimeters. That's 7/8 inches. On the throttle side, the internal diameter of the grips should be 25.4 millimeters. That's 1 inches. Most of the products will specify only this size, which is the external diameter of your handlebar. So in case of the CB500X, they will specify 22 millimeters or 7/8 inches. When you're making your order, make sure that you're looking for this data and for this as well. One of the options could be genuine parts from Honda. If you will Google it, you will find this so-called grip heater ATT. This is the product number. Be careful because it does not include all the parts you need. Some other shops are advertising as grip heater A. It's the same product number. What does it mean, A or ATT? And here is the answer. Attachment. So ATT or A stands for attachment kit. And look at the picture. What is included? It does not include the heated grips, nor the controlling circuit for $50. This is the installation instructions. So as you can see, the parts list will not include only some zip ties, cable harness, some tubes. The grip heater kit, it is sold separately. And you need both. You need this one and this one as well. So that's why you have to be careful when you're buying this Honda part. So this is the heated grips from Honda. It comes installed on a throttle tube. Nice. And this is the control circuit. This is the product number. The price is 364 euros. That's around 385 US dollars. Unfortunately, it does not include the attachment kit, which you need to install this product. In this shop, as you can see from the product code, you can have both of it, the attachment kit and the heated grips as well, for a hefty 396 euros, which is around 420 US dollars. Has got 3 steps variable heating levels, integrated circuit to protect the battery from draining. That's the battery protection feature. Fortunately, out there are more cost-effective solutions. And one of them, it could be from Ultimate Add-on. As you can see, the size of this product can be chosen, so you don't have to cut. It's got a badge from the Ride magazine, the best buy. Okay. 5 temperature levels. The diameter is what we need. It does not mention if battery protection is included or not, but I know that it is included. It comes at 130 British pounds. A next possible option is from Oxford Accessories, the EL690 UK product. On YouTube you can see plenty of reviews of this product. It is quite popular. As you can see, it has got a separate control unit, which means you have to find a place on your handlebar where to install it. It has got 9 heat settings. That's a lot. That's too much for me. The length. It is 132 millimeters. That's the standard length. And the cut length, 122. So you have to cut it, but not more, up to 122 millimeters. Battery saving mode is included. And it comes at 80 British pounds. The next option is from Kijima, a Japanese accessories manufacturer. GH10 is the product. And it comes, as you can see on the picture, with a throttle tube. Nice. It is 130 millimeters, which means that you have to cut it. It is compatible with a lot of bikes. And if we check this list of the Honda bikes, CB500X, it is listed there. So you can be sure that the product is compatible with the CB500X. Closed end, open end. Okay. The diameter is what we need. And still a lot of information. Great. As I can see, it has got battery protection as well. And it comes at 87 euros. Not bad. And next possible option is from Oxford Accessories as well. This is a relatively new product from Oxford Accessories, the EL390 Hot Grips Pro Adventure. And as you can see, the control unit, it is integrated. Yes, integrated controller. Battery saving, battery protection feature is included, has got 3 temperature levels. The diameter is what we need. The grip length, 132, but can be trimmed to 123, 120, or even less. Okay. And it comes at 170 British pounds. The next option is from Daytona. This is a Japanese accessories manufacturer. Do not confuse it with this German company Daytona, who are motorcycle gear manufacturers. This is the product code. 7/8 inches the diameter. What we need. 4 level of temperature controls. Battery protection included. Length, it is 120. What we need. It's okay. And it comes at 140 euros. The next one is this COWL HG17. The diameter is what we need. The length, we can choose it. No need to cut. I can see here 5 level of temperature. Okay. And battery saving feature, it is included. It comes at 148 euros. Okay. The next one and the last one, SimTech external handlebar grip warmer kit. Honestly said, I don't see the point. Why would I buy, or why would someone buy such a kit when you have more compact, more better options, especially for this price. However, you have such option as well. You have to install these pads between the grip and the handlebar, respectively between the grip and the throttle tube. Okay, let's have a summary and make our choice. So these are the products we reviewed, and now we have to make a choice. Honda's part is too expensive, so I will not go for that. This kind of solution is not competitive when you have such an options, so I will not go for this either. Having an external control unit, I do not like, because even now I have very few space on my handlebar. It's pretty crowded. So I'm looking for something where the control unit is integrated, like these four ones. The Oxford hot grips, in my opinion, are overpriced. I don't see the point. Why would I go for this? Because they don't offer more than the others. And I like the fact that Daytona has got a small tiny switch, because I'm a bit anxious whether these buttons would be uncomfortable or not. I don't know. And I found some other reasons to go with Daytona. Let me show you. On eBay, a German seller is selling this Daytona product for 117 euros. They published a page from Motorcycle Magazine. Look at here. The Motorradfahrer on Motorrad News. It seems that this product was reviewed by a German motorcycle magazine. I made some research and I found that Daytona's heated grips were test winners in October 2020 and January 2021. Interesting. So this is how I made my decision to go with Daytona's heated grips. And I placed an order for 117 euros, which is around 124 US dollars. Now we have to make a decision to use the old original Honda throttle tube and transform it, or buy a new throttle tube. If you want to use the old one, you have to cut off the grips, remove the end of the throttle tube because it has a larger diameter, like that. You have to remove the protrusions as well, like that. But I decided to preserve my old throttle tube with the grips and to buy a new one. These are the key dimensions of the throttle tube, and not all of them yet, because for instance the diameter of this circle or of this ellipse I haven't specified, the width of this groove as well. However, the vendors will not specify this data. 90% of them will say that the throttle tube is compatible with a certain bike. Sometimes they are mentioning as well the size of the handlebar, but that's it. And finding a throttle tube on which the vendor was stating that is compatible with CB500X, it was a challenge. There are zillions of throttle tube out there, but very few are specifying that they are fit for CB500X. Look at there. And none of these are a fit for the CB500X, at least according to the specifications. I stumbled across an AliExpress product which, although was not specified as a CB500X fit, it was so cheap, I said, okay, let's have a gambling. Even including shipping, it was $2.50. So I ordered one of these throttle tubes. At the end of the day, I came across a Kijima throttle tube. The product number is this one, this throttle tube H. And look at here. If I'm looking for the CB500X, it is specified here. So, as a result, I placed an order for this throttle tube as well. Kijima throttle tube H. So I'm gonna start with the removal of this bar end, and after that I will remove this grip. There are videos on YouTube where they are removing this bar end by a kind of push it, force it, make it happen methods, like these ones. Look at there. Please don't do that. There is a better way, a more elegant way to remove this bar end. Now, in order to do that, I designed this simple tool, 3D printed it. Here they are. And I will insert under the grip at the top there and at the bottom. Then I will squeeze them together and pull out the weight. Now I'm making some space here, inserting the tool into a small hole located on the bar, like that. I'm doing the same thing here at the bottom. Let me show you what have I done. So I inserted into that hole the end of my tool. Can you see? At the top and at the bottom. So now I'm squeezing them together and pull it out. It's a bit tough, but it's working. Like that. Okay. Oops. It seems that a small piece of rubber damper, it is jammed inside the bar. So using this wire, I'm just removing it. Here it is. Okay, we are almost done. I will use compressed air to remove the hand grip. First, I will loosen it with the screwdriver. Now with air. Some more air. I got here isopropyl alcohol and we'll use it to dissolve the glue. Another hand will work as a lubricant, and it will be easier to pull off the grip from the handlebar. Now it is easy to pull off the grip. Let me show you how I have removed the bar end. So when the grip was on, the bar end was retained inside the bar with the help of a snap ring attached to those tiny holes. I inserted these plastic tools in between the grip and the handlebar. I squeezed them strongly and just pulled out the bar end. And as you saw, the rubber damper may stuck inside. If so, do not forget to remove it. The heated grip should fit easily onto the handlebar without straining. Otherwise, you have to remove the ribs from the interior of the grip. Pay attention to this cable and make sure it looks downwards when you are installing the grip onto the bar. Otherwise, it may interact with the clutch. So make sure you are checking it. I'm going to use this one compound glue. It is waterproof, it's strong, and it is good up to 120 Celsius degrees. I will apply the glue inside of the grip, and then I will push onto the handlebar. And because I do not want to have all that glue pushed into the handlebar, I will insert some paper like that. And later on, I just pull it out. I'm sorry the camera didn't catch this operation. Okay, let's remove the paper. And as you can see, that cable, it looks downwards. Just the perfect position, and later on it can be fixed with a zip tie. Now this should dry 24 hours, and meantime I will go over to the right handlebar. In order to remove the throttle tube, I need to remove this switch. This grip is installed onto a rigid throttle tube, so I do not have access to those tiny holes in order to remove the bar end. So I have to remove the switch, then I will slide the throttle tube towards the center, and then I will have access to those tiny holes and using my tool to remove the bar end. Let's proceed. There are two screws, one there and the other one here. I will start with this one. Okay, and now this one here. Okay, so what happened? Now I can remove that part of that switch. In order to remove this, I have to remove that cable and that cable as well. Removing those cables, I will use a hook. Don't use a ply because you will damage the cables. There is something more to it. Look at there. That is the knot which can loosen your throttle, those cables. So I'm talking about this one here. First, I will slide that rubber cover, then using a metric 10 and metric 8 wrench, I will loosen those knots to the maximum, which means now that the slack of my throttle is the maximum. So as you can see here, the cable is now loose. Using this hook, I will remove the cable like that. Okay. And the next one, it should be easier. Okay. Again, don't use a ply. You will damage the cable. Now I can remove the case, and as you can see, the throttle tube will slide across the bar. That means that now I have access to those tiny holes and I can remove the bar end. So here are my high-tech devices. Squeeze them together and pull out the bar end. That's it. And this time, as you can see, that rubber damper didn't jam inside. Let me remove the old throttle tube. And this is the new Kijima throttle tube. Fits nicely, just like the original one. Slides easily. But look at these AliExpress ones. It is difficult to fit onto the handlebar and doesn't slide easily. You have to apply force. Now let me show you here. The original throttle tube is made of some very hard material. I hardly can make a mark with my nails. The AliExpress ones are soft. I can feel that I can make some marks with my nail easily. And look how soft it is compared to the original ones or to the Kijima ones. So this AliExpress throttle tube is not the right one. As we already know, the grip should fit easily onto the throttle tube, but it's not the case. You see those ribs inside the heated grip? You have to remove them with a pile. That's what I am gonna do now. Like that. It took me some time. I removed the ribs from the interior of the heated grip. And I removed the ribs from the throttle tube as well. And now, as you can see, it fits easily. No force needed. So now we are ready to go. First we will install the throttle tube and then the heated grip. Can you see that small protrusion there? That should match that small hole on the bar. You see? Now it snaps. That is the right position of that switch. And it should not move if it is located at the right place. First, I will install that cable. Okay. And now comes this cable. I will need my hook. Okay. I'm checking that small protrusion, it is in the hole. Now I'm looking that did not pinch the cables. So far so good. I almost forget. You have to lube the cables and the casing there and there. This is the silicone grease I'm gonna use. Okay, like that, and like that. Be careful not to pinch the cables. Okay. And now let's install back the screws. Okay, the switch box doesn't move. Smooth, does not stuck. Let me check the switch box again. It doesn't move. And now let's fasten and tighten those screws. Now, before gluing the heated grip onto your new throttle tube or the old one, depending which one you are using, you have to check this cable's position. Make sure it won't obstruct the front brake. Look at here, if I'm installing like that, in the maximum position will obstruct the front brake when it is applied at maximum. Can you see? So that's why the right position for that cable, it's like that, this one. Okay, so now let's clean the throttle tube with some isopropyl alcohol. The interior of the heated grip. I will apply glue only into the grip, fit onto the throttle tube. Partially the glue will be pushed out by the throttle tube, and I don't want that to enter into the handlebar. That's why I'm applying here this paper. Can you see? There is a small gap there. please make sure that you will have the same distance with the new grip. Otherwise, we'll touch the housing and may stuck. Okay. Slowly but surely. I'm eyeballing the cable, making sure it has got the right position. Okay. Now what I want to make sure, that gap. That small gap, look at here. That's what we need. Not more, not less. It's perfect. Let me remove this paper. And yes, do not forget to adjust the slack of your throttle at some point. I cannot emphasize enough that the cable of the heated grip should not obstruct the front brake. So now it's time to make the electrical connection of the heated grips. What's gonna happen, I'm gonna install here these cables. But there is a question. Where do I want to connect the heated grips? Because I got two options. Somewhere here, there is a connector, an accessory connector. Let me show you. Maybe you can see it there. Later on I will show you after the removal of the cowl. And that could be one of the options. The other one is to connect under the seat using a relay. Still, I have to think about it and I will decide it by tomorrow. I will remove the seat, the cover and the cowl. For detailed instruction on how to remove all these, check out my previous video on USB, GPS and phone charger. Last night I decided that I will connect the heated grips according to the second alternative. So I will connect it to the battery under the seat with the help of a relay. This relay will be powered from the accessory connector under the seat. This is the same connector where the USB port, GPS and phone charger are connected. So turning the ignition key will energize this connector. The relay will receive power and will turn on, providing power from the battery to the heated grips. For this version, I should prepare a cable harness with a relay. In this way, I will preserve the connector under the cowl for further accessories. Maybe a fog light. Who knows? Look at here. Now I have access to this factory installed accessory connector. And it is up to you. You may use it for either your hand grips, but as I told you, I want to preserve it for some other accessories, maybe fog lights. Look at here. Now we have an even better view of this accessory port. My cable harness will come from that point along here, here, up to this battery. But before that, using some zip ties, I will install those cables which are coming from the heated grips. So I will install the cable next to the other ones. You see? Perfect. And then insert there. Now at the right hand, I will make the same thing. So insert my cable next to the other ones. Now I'm making sure that the cable is not obstructing nothing else. It has a free move. It looks good. Okay, some zip ties. Looks good. Should be okay. So, as you can see, I got here the connectors from the hand grips. That comes from the left, and this comes from the right. Let's plug these together. They should be connected. That is the positive and that is the negative. And will be connected to the battery. But let me bring here my cable harness. Here it is. These are going to be connected there. So the positive and negative. The negative, other side, will go to the battery and same time goes to the relay's coil. The other part of the relay coil will be supplied from the positive 12 volt through a fuse. Just to make sure if the relay or if the diode is short-circuited, I won't blow up my battery or whatever. So that's the fuse for. That will be connected exactly to the same connector where is connected my USB port, phone charger and GPS. So when I turn on my ignition key, that will power the relay, and that will connect power from the battery to the heated grips. So if I push this button on the handlebar, on the grips, it will turn on the power. So the power will come through this fuse from the batteries and goes to the handlebar when the ignition kit is on. So let's see how do I install this cable harness. So that part is coming there. Okay. We are almost done. And yes, there we are. Now let's have a close look up. Negative goes to the negative. I know this from the colors I used. That's the blue one. And the red, respectively brown, are the positive. And I got some insulation as well, which should come over these connectors, like that. And maybe I will fasten there with some zip ties. Let me check if it is not obstructing any other cable or steering. It is not pinched. It looks okay. So let's zip tie it.
Maybe to this one. Maybe.
Make sure they are properly fastened. And they do not interfere with any other device. Some more zip ties. Okay. Now I have to connect all those cables. But just to be on the safe side, I will connect an external power source to my battery connectors. The reason is that I want to make sure I won't lose any data on my cockpit when I'm disconnecting these cables from the batteries. That's the only reason I use these external connectors, external power supply. Okay, so now I have connected the negative connection of my cable harness, which we know goes to the negative connector of our heated grips, respectively to the negative pole of my relay. And now I will connect this positive connector to the battery, which goes to the relay, not to the coil. This is the switched terminal, and that will be connected to the heated grips when the ignition key is on. I'm gonna use this kind of connector, which I can clip on some existing wire, so I don't need to make any blanking or soldering or whatever. Let me show you. I will remove that connector to have an easier access to it, like that. Now I'm connecting to the positive wire just by squeezing this connector. I will need a plier. Okay, this should be okay. And now okay, let's install back to the right place. And now I connect my relay coil to this connector. So theoretically, we should be fine. Of course, that circuit of the relay should be insulated, but just for the moment, I'm very curious it is working or not. So let's have a startup test. I should hear their click as soon as I turn my ignition key. Okay, it was not very noisy, but I could hear it. Now I'm turning on the heated grips, and there it is. It is working. That's the lowest level. Push again, again, and again. So these are the different heating levels. Now I will turn it off. Great. That means we are done. All I have to do to make some enclosure for that relay, install back the bar ends and the cover, the COWL, and so on. But before installing all those parts, let me double check again. There is nothing there which might be pinched by the steering mechanism. So all the cables are safe, are not tightened, are not pinched. It seems fine. Take your time and check it, because later on you might have problems otherwise. Fine. So this accessory is gonna be a future project, as I told you already. As I told you, it might be a fog light, it's not sure yet, but we will see. So that connector, it is saved for the moment. Okay. Good. Be patient. Don't push it, force it. It should go back nicely. Maybe at some parts tiny force should be applied, but not too much. Now comes the seat. And the bar ends. Turn it on. One more startup test. And as you can see, it is working. Done. This summer I was on a long cruise up to the North Cape and back. So I had plenty of opportunities to test my new heated grips. They greatly increase the feeling of comfort in rainy and cold weather, so they are definitely a useful accessory. As for the Daytona heated grip I choose, I probably made the wrong decision, because the button on the grip is so small that it is not easy to find and turn it on or off with gloves, especially winter gloves. I literally had to search for the button with my thumb, and it took me a while to find it, so it was distracting from driving. It happened that I suddenly noticed that the handle was hot, and I didn't turn it on, at least not on purpose. So if you hold the grip a little tighter, you might accidentally turn it on or off. With these lessons, if I had to choose a grip today, I would definitely not choose one with such a small button, but one like this Kijima, Kozo, or even Ultimate add-ons. So my advice to you is the following. If you choose a heated grip, test it for a longer time if you have the opportunity, and definitely not in summer but in winter gloves. This concludes this video. Open road and safe ride.